Hi, I'm Stephan Bugaj. I am Chief Creative Officer at Genvid Entertainment.
Okay.
Okay, Jerre?
Genvid Entertainment.
Dat ding is kleiner. Oh.
So we have a format that we created, interactive streaming series that's kind of a hybrid between mobile games and interactive television, but socially played. So in our experiences, we did a experience called Silent Hill Ascension.
Oh, that was you were gonna launch that the day after or something.
We talked about this for like an hour last.
Yes.
And then you were the milkman. As I have obsessed. How do you not remember this?
We remember the Silent Hill part.
I really remember Silent because I think it was gonna launch like the next day or something.
It launched like literally
The next day.
Yeah,
the
that's.
next day,
I think. Well, okay, maybe something like. Yeah, they're not gonna hear you right now.
Well, we did it. We finished it, and now we're launching DC Comics.
Oh, that's a good one, but they can't hear you. That's a
The
problem.
mic is, we're trying.
Anders verzet ik me even.
Gebruik de... ja, verzet, ja.
Okay, do you mind sitting here, Nika?
Maybe. I'm bored.
It's gonna be
I'm so
super
mean.
hot. I'm gonna.
Well, then they can't hear you.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I can hold the mic.
Yeah,
We don't want
that mic is uncomfortable, and we don't want to impose an uncomfortable mic on you. So
It's literally taller than my legs.
yeah, me too.
And he's totally.
There
me
we
too.
go.
We're both
hold it.
just kids here. Like
There
I
we
know.
go. So yeah, so you were gonna launch
Oh gosh.
this is
Silent
I'm the
Hill,
worst.
the closer you are,
which
the
was
better.
super
Okay.
interesting because it's not something that has been done a lot, and I was super interested. I remember I
Yeah,
think I sent her an
you'd send me a DM on Instagram.
yeah, or I think even an email.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I wanted to ask a lot more questions, but I was like, she's busy. Don't
Yeah.
poke the beast.
Yeah. I was like, go away.
So, how did it go? What did you learn?
What did we learn? Yes. So we learned a lot of things. I think one of the most important things that we learned was the value of community, of positive community, of listening to the community and making sure that they feel heard and that that you respond to people's concerns and interests. We knew a bunch of that going in because of what we'd learned with Rival Peak and Walking Dead: The Last Mile about community, but being off the Facebook platform, it kind of amplified in a lot of ways. And so there were definitely a lot of learnings about making people feel listened to and keeping the community connections positive.
Good.
That was a big part of it.
And stepping away from Facebook did that.
Yes. I mean,
So that tells a lot about Facebook.
Well, I mean, Facebook, it was a different set of people.
Yeah.
It's a different user base. So like the way that Facebook community was already fairly self-connected. Whereas when we were creating a new community from scratch in our own like app embedded chat system, you didn't have all of that underlying previously existing Facebook community connection. So it was like building it from scratch. You pay a lot more attention to the things you have to do in order to build those connections and keep things positive.
And is moderation cost something fairly big then?
Yeah, moderation's definitely important for sure. Yeah.
Was that bad?
It can be.
Have you been on the internet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you been on the internet today?
Actually, I haven't. It's been so nice to be unplugged here in Belgium. Why was?
Well, you had the presidential.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we did.
We had some interesting.
Let's not mention.
Yes, exactly.
Let's
But
skip that conversation
We work in the
entirely.
games industry. If you
Right.
want politicos, you're
Yeah, that's even worse, right? The games industry. I think that's even worse. Well, it can be. It's like,
Yeah.
or you have like a super positive community,
yeah.
or it's
Super toxic.
super toxic. I feel like there's not a lot of in between, or it also depends on the platform, right? Because you specifically mentioned Facebook. What about Twitter? We don't say X. Nobody does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be different. I mean, but when we did Ascension, we were basically launching our own social system. So yes, we also had to do some innovation in moderation to get.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you've got various types of trolls and so on that you need to filter out.
And
Yeah, exactly. But once you can filter out the bots and the trolls, then you start being able to talk to real people and real people can be talked
because
to.
the game, people can play the game with you or something. It's like a community driven.
Yeah, it's all community driven. So the all of the outcomes are community driven. So like in Ascension, we had these essentially QuickTime events where you've got a character going in the other world where the Silent Hill monsters are, in essentially a survival horror scenario. And you're not controlling them like you would in a survival horror video game, but instead the entire audience who's watching can tap and swipe along similar to a rhythm tapper with that character's activity, and how well they do in the case of Silent Hill impacted that character's statistic called hope. And hope was part of the final outcome of character. If their hope was too low, they would die at the end.
Okay.
And then the decision making, the narrative decisions, the branching narrative also were community decided. You could put points on the choice that you wanted to see win. You could also put points into a rally to give a bonus to everyone who agreed with you for a certain period of time. And when the decisions closed, that choice that had the most points became the canon outcome that everyone saw. So the entire audience would see one outcome, and then that would get cut into a TV show each week that would go on Tubi and Sony Pictures Core. So the audience was like collectively curating a TV show that they could then watch on television with their friends. And so it was all community driven. And the decisions that you made also drove a character variable called fate. And their fate was redemption, suffering, or damnation. And so when a character exited the story, they would live or die based on hope, and their soul, so to speak, would either be redeemed, condemned to suffering, or damned based on the decisions that had been made.
And do you have like any big ballpark of numbers of like people contributing to such QTs or?
I mean, it would vary, but I mean, we had 1 million initial downloads. So
right. And what about servers?
All that tech stuff is something the engineering guys can talk about, but certainly there's challenges, and a lot of what GenVid's tech stack was built around was synchronization of large numbers of people with video inputs, basically. So overlay input over video, and and then yes, there are definitely engineering challenges that go with all of that.
But that's how you ended up with. She just dropped a bomb like, hey, we're now going to do this.
Yeah.
But the mic was not on.
Public. It's not a bomb.
Yeah, but I mean for our listeners, right?
Yeah, if we're doing...
But the mic was not on, so they didn't hear it. So
we did Silent Hill Ascension last year, a community-driven interactive streaming series. And this year, we're doing my favorite product. Am I allowed to have favorites? I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. So like, we work on multiple products, but my favorite product has always been DC Comics.
You can always have a passion, right?
Yeah. Well, when they brought me on, they were like, we're doing these few products. You're going to come in and support whatever. And I was like, cool. I'm basically just here for DC. And they were like, you have to do these other things. And no offense to Silent Hill. I think it's an incredible IP. We're so happy, and we love the partnership with Konami. But let's be real. Like, since I was like, I came here last year, and I think I just told you guys I was Batman for 20 minutes.
Yeah, we asked, like, who are you? And she's like,
I was
Batman.
like, I'm not telling you. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in this bus, but I kind of want to like keep it for myself. And it's going to be, I think, one of the most incredible things GenVid has ever done. Not to discredit any of the previous work, but DC Comics, the product that's coming out soon, it's called DC Heroes United.
That's right.
Right. Sometimes I get it wrong and I get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Very good at getting in and out
like
of trouble.
A cheat sheet.
Yeah. Or like a shock, shock collar. Get it right. But no, I think this is going to be great because it's a culmination of like a lot of different experiences, writers, a lot of creative work, and really, really talented people coming together and making.
DC is super big.
Yeah,
Can you like elaborate a bit on which niche?
So only DC? 3 characters that are public. So you're going to have a Batman, a Wonder Woman, and Superman to start. We have our own Earth 212, which is publicly known. So it's a whole new universe where the heroes. Oh, there goes the Red Bull. But the heroes don't know each other in this world. They've never met before. And it starts with like a big crazy disaster and nobody knows each other. And that's kind of where the setting is at.
Yeah. The whole shtick is that through the decisions that you make throughout the season, you're going to influence how the Justice League comes together.
And
heroes can be villains can be heroes. You can have redeemable villains, villains.
that's tricky. I mean, they have to sign off on it. I mean, they're obviously helping you write it, right? Or they write it and you do.
Who's they?
Well,
DC people.
Right? Yeah.
DC does approvals.
Yeah.
So you write it?
Yeah.
Stephan manages the whole writing team, creative team, all that jazz. Yeah. Sometimes he'd be nice and throw me some of the scripts so that I could like fact check it, but he ran the whole thing.
So it's like a child.
Yeah, sorry, I need to interject because-
Child.
Why?
How
What
do you
do you-
say
what do you
it?
have to say?
Child boy
like
dream?
I've seen pretty much everything that comes to like if it's Justice League related or I'm
We
now
just don't get us in trouble because it's not.
We have a-
public.
I'm
have a
finally
Batman
watching
figurine
Young
here.
Justice.
We don't
Young
have time
Justice
to get
season
fired.
4.
It's a tough job market right
Yeah,
now.
if you ever need advice,
We have a US exclusive figurine here of the Joker.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I've been born on Batman. Like my dad, as a kid, was already like, you don't have a choice in this. It's gonna be Batman. And then at that point, it was only Adam West because that's the only
Of
thing
course,
you could find
Adam West
here.
is the best Batman.
Yeah.
I was Batman for Halloween this year.
Oh wow.
The Adam
wow.
West
I was
one.
Pretend shock.
Got it
Colonel
at a-
Sanders.
Were you? I got mine at the dollar store though.
Oh.
It was like a boys size 14, youth large.
Flex.
my kid would probably wear it as well. So how creative can you be? Or do you go and like, how much did they like deny?
Well, I mean, it's when you work with franchise material, you have to adhere to the franchise
Well,
requirements.
it's not canon, or is it?
But that's the part with DC. They have multiple canons.
Yeah,
they have 52 universes in which you can work. So
we have
The
our own.
expert right
we have our own Earth number. So we have
Your own Earth number.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
yeah,
our.
That's funny. Yeah.
DC like world like Earth 1 is where every main story is. Earth Prime is basically our world, if I'm not mistaken, where
Yes.
we read the comics about DC heroes. Earth 2 is then like a slight deviation. Usually,
Which one
like
is Christian Bale?
Oh God.
That's the best.
I don't know the numbers
Can we
by
vote
heart.
him out of the
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even mention the new ones yet.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of him.
I think the most like Injustice is one of the most like is a separate Earth, for instance. Yeah,
I even paid to one to see Batman versus Superman.
we all did, and we all
Yeah.
regret that
I
one.
mean, so we can. I mean, DC is great to work with. There's a lot of stuff that we've been able to do creatively, but there are also, whenever you work with franchise material, there's brand requirements, there's
super
restrictions.
strict.
Right.
There's also pillars that you need to adhere to so that the audience wants to get on board. So like you have to be creative within those parameters. But
Yeah,
I mean, they've been awesome to work with. They've allowed us to do a lot of really fun stuff. I mean, hey, we get to bring a new Justice League together. That's
yeah,
pretty
and,
awesome.
Absolutely.
and you have like 100 years of source material from which you can borrow or work from. Batman is not going to use a gun. That's pretty much one of the only things set in stone. And other than that,
Yeah.
you're pretty much good to go, right?
Totally.
Does
Yeah.
he gonna have to do? Does he gonna have to do the deep voice, or I thought it was a requirement?
I was able, and like the Christian Bale voice, like, where are the other dragons?
I mean, isn't that like I thought that was the second rule of like,
No, I don't think anybody approved
he has
that
to grunt.
voice.
Oh, okay, weird.
No, we've got a great voice cast. Actually, a lot of our voice cast are folks that do both American animation voicing and also a lot of English dubbing for anime.
Oh wow, yeah.
So like it's a pretty awesome cast. We're really excited about them.
And you're not restricted with the changes at DC because with James Gunn's changes, he's like, I want to have the video games in the same universe as the movies. You're not affected by that at all at this point, of course.
So our project started before the James Gunn switchover.
Yeah.
There was some impact from that when Zaslav came in, changes to stuff that we were working on, but we were not asked to be
To do a full
to adhere to the cinematic universe.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and you weren't struck by the Zaslav hammer of doom.
We were not.
Because he's, I'll keep that out of here. Sorry. Yeah.
What's the timeline? Like any release dates?
This
Real
year.
soon now.
Oh man.
This year.
This year.
She said it very confidently. He
It's
was
definitely this
you were
year. This year. This year. There's not a lot of this year left.
Yeah,
so.
that's how I was.
Yeah. Has there been a character that you weren't known or you weren't known of before you started with the project that you're now like, wow, like this character is now one of my favorites?
So the characters that we're working with are all fairly well known for the
first.
Heroes United first season. Certainly when we were doing the contracts, we had to make a list of all the characters we might ever want to use.
Oh yeah.
And that led to some deep dives into finding some fairly fascinating
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
catalog
Polka Dot
characters.
Man, Clockmaster.
I think we worked on that list together. I remember because I was kind of on vacation and I think I was like, oh, I get to help with this. And
Totally.
I was like literally on like the beach in the sand with like a shitty Chromebook, like filling in like bizarre characters.
There's so many.
and DC does a great job with their catalog and their on their app.
Oh yeah.
DC Comics app. It's like everyone's in there. I think there was maybe 2 characters I couldn't find that were in like a fandom base and not their official base, but it's a really cool roster.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff in there. And there's like a lot of stuff that's like got untapped potential that like there could be a lot of fun stuff done with like Ambush Bug, Lobo, Challengers of the Unknown, which is basically completely forgotten, but is like essentially like paranormal mystery detective superheroes. Like there's
from the entire like the hell, what is it? Constantine and
no,
Detective
it's from
Chimp?
before
It's
that.
not even
It's from
before
before
that.
that. Yeah. It's like late 60s stuff that like, you know, there's
And the art's incredible.
Yeah.
The animation's incredible.
There's over 10,000 DC characters.
Yeah.
And so like
There's got a few seasons to go.
And we've had like what 20 in cinematic universes, maybe.
Yeah.
Like even if it's that much. So
yeah. It's a very cool catalog.
Yeah,
There's a lot of fun stuff.
they have
in there.
so many good shows because I'm now finally getting to Young Justice season 4 because they never had it over here. And that show is just so amazing that I feel like it's kind of a shame that nobody has ever
I
seen.
feel like we should get him a job at
Yeah, but for Europeans, it's like a completely different aspect. For us, it's like when I was a kid, you had maybe a couple of Batman comics that would get translated in Dutch.
Wow.
Like everything else, you had to go to like a specialist store. You had to get them imported, and
Oh my god.
We have Belgian comics, which are different, right? Like Tintin and stuff.
Smurfs,
the Smurfs. That's our thing.
Yeah.
So
Spirou, which is on already like.
don't even realize how good we had it.
Yeah, totally.
yeah, and then the
Our
same with
universes are
shows
fun.
like Batman Beyond, and then you had like 2 seasons, and they can't and then the other ones were never aired here because it wasn't made here. So
our universes are fun.
we have
we have in Belgium. I mean, like, but
just imagine like
I was like, where are we going with this?
Let's say like you have
don't underestimate them. That's what I'm saying. But
like one of the Tintin is one of the most known. It's only like 40 albums maybe.
Okay.
It's because it's like most comics just have one release in an entire year because it just takes so long to draw because of the artistry.
Belgian.
And then we can imagine the workflow of American comics where it's one every month or 2 every month.
I come from a
insane
farming
process.
village. I didn't even know comics were a thing until I was like 14 or whatever.
Yeah, so that's why Batman was the biggest thing here for the longest time because you didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
There was Batman and then Spider-Man was the first other thing I think that kind of broke through. But other than that, like for 40 years, it was Batman. Yeah. That's the only thing you had here from the TV show. And
I think for Spider-Man trilogy was that was one of the first.
Yeah, and the
big
cartoons
things.
in the 90s also were kind of big.
And then the Batman.
Batman, the animated series as well was very popular.
So
Movies.
We're catching up finally.
Yeah.
Animated TV is how Americans found out about Smurfs.
Yeah.
We all watched that show.
Yeah, it's a Hanna-Barbera show.
Yeah, exactly.
They bought the property
See,
here.
we have
But
cool
then
stuff.
it also got aired here, so then we got it back in a weird way.
So I guess you have like a vision for like 40 seasons. I mean, when you start writing the lore or whatever you want to call it for the first season, I guess you kind of have it in the back of your or top of your head, like you should like do that curve, and maybe in season 4 that can come back or something. I don't know. I don't want to like
Yes, but we also have to make the first season
work.
complete work and be as exciting as possible. Working in Hollywood, the way that we were trained was you can dream about all the future seasons all you want, but the only one that you're getting is the one you're working on right now. So make that as good as possible. So it's like you pour everything into that season, and if you're lucky enough to get another one, then you're like, all right, all those ideas we had before, now we can start implementing those.
So the contract is like, let's wait for the first one and then we'll see, I guess.
You
don't have to answer,
contract wise. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like just in terms of, financial success, right?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
makes a lot of sense.
And something
That'd
like
be
this, isn't it very difficult to test? Or is that...
To test?
Yeah,
What do you mean to test?
so
What are we
from...
testing?
Yeah, the reception, I guess.
Like,
So is it something
Are
that you
people
test?
gonna
Are
like
you
the
doing
story?
continuous
I hope
test?
so.
Yeah, are you
Exactly.
doing
They better.
exactly.
Are you doing continuous testing, or is it kind of you first make it and then test it? Because this is more like a evolving thing as
Do
you
you
go,
have like
right?
100 people who have to sign like an NDA and like, hey,
No,
please test
we
this?
do-
so we've done some testing,
Sure.
and the game side we do fairly traditional play testing.
Yeah.
The narrative side is a little trickier. You have to be fairly far along to show an untrained audience animation. Like if you show them storyboards, they won't get it.
Yeah.
Like a general audience. Like some people will, but like you're going to get very different feedback than if you show them something that's farther along. So it's fairly challenging to get general audience feedback, like focus group type feedback for animation or any kind of cinematic narrative without first putting a fair amount of money into it, because people aren't trained to understand how to read the earlier steps. Like it's more of a specialized thing. Whereas gameplay is gameplay, right? Like you can have unpolished art and stuff like that, and people kind of more.
And you're
get it.
more testing the certain aspects of it separately than instead of the entire cohesive thing.
Yeah. So we do like when we do gameplay testing, we also show people what video we have and get their feedback on that. But it's somewhat less indicative. But all along the process, right? Like DC is reading all of our scripts and giving notes on that, and
Crazy.
so
That's
And
cool.
they have, of course, the finger on the pulse about what people would like. Of
exactly.
course.
Yeah.
So-
Must be a cool feeling, but also super scary, right?
They're great. I mean, yes to both, but they've been great. So we're very grateful for that. Like all of their notes have been very smart. They've been very targeted. They've been there every step of the way for us. So like they know what we're trying to do. They understand what we're trying to do. They're on board with it. And like they give great notes that help make that better.
It's not the Steve Jobs approach, like like rip it apart and do it all over again. Or like,
No, it's not that approach.
Is that what he did?
well, that's what he
Just
did
me.
with the iPod, right?
Yeah, make it smaller.
Yeah, so he put an aquarium or a glass, and was like, see, there's air bubbles. Do it again, because there's still space in there. Make it smaller. So I mean, that's what I mean. It's like I had teachers that way, right? Like, don't like it, rip it apart, do it over again.
Yeah, but that's not constructive feedback.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
You're
That's
describing
what
my-
Destructive feedback.
that's what people would expect from such a big company. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
They've been in the business for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think they know how to work with artists at this point.
They're professional license holders.
Yeah, but I mean, Hollywood is not known for
Well, but they're
taking care
not.
of people.
DC's, they're the New York people originally, so they have a different mentality.
True. So let's say doom scenario. Servers go, Cloudflare has an issue. Servers don't work while you're going live. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. I'm fortunately a little bit removed from the technical side at
Yeah,
this
why
point.
are you trying to
So-
manifest failure for
Yeah,
us?
wow.
I
Jeez.
just think
Who puts that out in the universe?
I'm a developer.
Now it's
so
gonna
What
happen.
if an earthquake happens
If it
to you?
happens-
So you put karma on the
If it happens, you
an
know who to
earthquake
blame
hits
now.
or
Yeah.
a tornado.
my lawyer.
We're putting.
Nah, I'm a developer, so that's always in the back of my
Well-
mind, right? So
Well, one of the things
like that.
that's about what we're doing is so we're trying to also serve a global audience and so on. And so the exact live moment is less important now on DC Heroes United than it was on Ascension.
Yeah.
And so what would happen if everything went down basically is like come back in 5 minutes when everything comes back up.
please.
And it'll all be working again. Cause like we've got weekly episodes now. So you're going to have plenty of time to participate in decisions.
and there is a replayability of previous,
Yeah, absolutely.
But then your
they still-
decisions aren't that impactful.
still impacted. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you can watch previous episodes, obviously the decisions will already be closed once they're done.
Yeah.
But like episode errors, if you're not there the moment that it's put on the server, come there anytime, watch the episode, and the choices are set up in the episode, and then you can participate in the choices.
The amount of cut content that you have after a product like this
Yeah,
must
that's
be
what I
quite
was gonna
insane,
ask, like,
right?
Is it like
Would you ever release that in a weird way?
make a Baldur's Gate-ish version? Like whatever you pick, the next thing will happen
Yeah.
for you.
A what if season on Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
after
cool.
it was done, we have a hosted show with
Oh,
real
hosted.
people
Okay.
who, like you guys.
Yeah.
Imagine you guys. And
Hey, if you want to do it for the DC one, we're available. But I think you would have better English speaking hosts than us.
yeah, and they came in
Can
and
do a
they went
Benelux
through the
version.
what ifs. So what if you made this decision, or what if that happened? And so
Yeah.
it wasn't like that content, and that all that creative
Yeah,
work went
yeah.
away.
Yeah, it
And a
would be a
standalone
shame.
product, or is that like a hard question? Like,
Like the Telltale
Yeah.
version or something.
would that
Yeah.
be a thing
Oh, like
afterwards?
a new product.
Like
Well,
a separate product that you could buy.
like
and then-
after, like, hey, here's all the choices, like Telltale.
Did you not hear what he said? Like in Hollywood, we focus on the season one and then we focus on
Yeah.
a new
yeah,
product.
but I mean, your whole company is pretty based on these kind of live
Yeah.
experiences, right? Like
Mhm.
that could be
Yeah,
like a side branch of
But I think you have to more imagine it as being an event. You're part of
Mm.
it instead of it's a game that you play on your own time. You
Yeah,
pay for
I
the
get it.
Tomorrowland ticket. You're there for the experience. You can't take that experience home. It's probably the
Totally.
same as you're trying to sell
Yeah.
or are selling.
Yeah, exactly. And because of the whole social meta, like the whole fun of it, not the whole fun of it, but a big part of the fun of it is you go there, other people are also contributing to these decisions, right? They're also putting points down, and you go and chat and you yell at them, right? Like, everyone who likes choice B sucks. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you
That's,
choice A guys, you suck. And
I
then,
love it.
hey, team choice A, let's go
Yeah,
put some
yeah,
points
yeah.
down right now. And like, that's a big part of the fun, because it's like you're taking the kind of debates that when I was at Telltale, people would have
Oh yeah.
in YouTube videos and stuff after, and like, oh, I can't believe you guys all, let so-and-so die, or what, couldn't get these two people to agree in their individual plays, right? They'd talk about like, because Telltale also did speak back to a server, and so you could see what
Yeah.
percentage of people had done other choices, and be like, I can't believe 90% of
Yeah.
you let this character die. What's wrong with you people?
I think it was in Batman season 2 that I made a choice and I was like 10% or something. And I was like, did I interpret it wrong? Am I that stupid?
And so now with what we're doing, people can have those debates before the decision is
Yeah.
made, and then influence the outcome, right? Like, how I definitely don't choose that choice.
Yeah,
like, what's
yeah.
wrong with you people?
You're
And
not
someone else,
phoning in to kill Jason Todd.
right?
again.
Exactly. And then other people will be like, no, you absolutely should do that.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting choice. And you get
Which-
that debate happening when it
Yeah.
still matters.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just said it, but
super
it's
fun.
funny that in the 80s, DC already did this then. When in the 80s, they had a phone in that you could call because they were going to kill Robin, and you could call to save him or kill him. And they won by killing him, but not by that much. I think it's like a few hundred phone calls difference, because some people also rallied to save him. So,
Yeah, it's-
and it's like now 40 years later.
We definitely referenced the death of Robin when we pitched DC.
Of course,
Right?
that's
Like,
that's.
hey guys, how remember that? But like we can do it every week.
It was even a national news item
can
here
kill him
when that
every week.
happened.
Really?
There was like Robin died. It was a news item overseas, which
Yeah, and
is crazy.
it's the lore of the death of Robin is interesting because it was a big learning moment.
Yeah.
Because DC was absolutely convinced that the fans would never in a million years vote to kill Robin, and they had to draw that book in
So
like a
fast.
week.
Yeah. Oh shit! And then they made a version of the movie where you could do it as a choice on Blu-ray. That they made an interactive version of the same events, which is funny. I think the TV just
Died.
timed out, I think.
I think it timed
Yeah.
that. No, it's on the bottom.
On the bottom, right? Oh, yeah, you were first.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Thanks.
Very hidden.
Now it needs to be in the right mode.
Oh, fuck.
That's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's continue.
What is the live choice HDMI?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Being maximized. What a stupid ass TV. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, you can draw. Yeah, you can draw on it. There's a pen there,
Yeah.
but it's
no.
not in drawing mode
It's
right
not
now.
draw mode now.
You can do it later. You for sure can.
but yeah, it's cool that it's in the DNA of DC, and then now they're exploring it again, but in a more interactive way, let's say, than ever before. Because with a comic, as you say, they drew it at the moment. You've already drawn it, so you already know the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, DC are great to work with. They're very innovative, and they really care a lot about their audience. Like, there's definitely people in the world who complain like, oh, DC, like, just cash grab after cash grab, and that's just not at all true. Like, they really, really care about their audience and are really trying to find things that are exciting for them, that are fun and new, and like can give the core fans more of what they want while expanding the fan base.
Yeah.
And like, they're great to work with.
If you look at the Telltale games that they did with Batman, even there, they, as a diehard fan, there were a lot of things in there. I was like, yeah, you can't do that. That's not how it goes. Blah, 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 blah. But at least they allowed it. It's not like they said, no, this is the rule. You should have it this way. Even if I don't agree, I don't care. Somebody else will love this, and it's a product for them. It's not like, not every product has to be for you as a fan. It doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah. It's amazing, right? Yeah. If somebody else, like, it's like The Last of Us, a lot of people got into it because of the TV show. Even if the TV show doesn't cover as much as a game, it's a
Makes
great
mistakes.
entry point, or it doesn't matter for them. It's a good product to get them introduced. And this will be the same for DC Heroes United, is it's going to be an entry point for a lot of characters that they've never heard about.
Yeah.
And that's
Or
amazing.
Another twist on the story.
Yeah. Cool. No, super
So
cool.
you're not gonna sleep a lot in the next upcoming 2 months?
No, I'm not. No.
You're gonna relax as much as you can while you're in Belgium.
Yeah,
because once
totally.
once you're back,
Exactly.
oh boy.
Yeah. How many days are you staying?
I think I leave for.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving Friday.
You're leaving Friday.
Yeah.
How long is the flight? 10 hours, 12?
The flight. So it's what was it? It was 6 hours from New York to Brussels,
To Brussels.
and then
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half.
6?
yeah, 6.5. 6.5.
Yeah,
it was-
but-
New
because-
York. New York is okay.
Why were you in New York?
because I had to transfer
Oh,
direct flights
so
from
it
LA.
wasn't. So you flew from LA to New York.
Yeah, that was 5
So you
hours.
flew-
So it's like 11 and a half
12
hours of being in a plane.
Geez,
But
I
then
flew
there's-
less than you.
But then there's a bunch of walking around airports.
Oh,
right?
that's-
So-
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the worst part.
Because when I fly from Toronto, which is like right above New York, right? Then it's 7:15 at least. And it's 8 hours the other way. So I'm confused why it's only 6.
Yeah,
That's north on the map is like different on
Oh
the
yeah,
globe,
right.
So.
Yeah.
I just believed what the
And I
pilot,
always fly to
I just
Amsterdam.
believed what the
Yeah.
pilot said and then went to sleep.
They just noticed he's on the plane. Let's add an extra hour.
Yeah, and I always fly to Amsterdam because there's no direct flight to Toronto
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Brussels.
And then it was an hour drive from Brussels to Kortrijk.
Oh yeah.
That's
Everything in Belgium
that's-
is an hour drive.
Yeah, if there's no traffic,
Yeah, there's no traffic.
which
First
was
time?
very rare.
First time in Kortrijk. I've been to Belgium before, to Brussels before.
But why?
But why? But why?
Why Belgium?
That one was for a AI conference many years ago, before AI was cool.
Wow, before the neural network, or at the beginning of the neural network hype.
We had neural networks back then, but they were not such a big deal.
Yeah. They were just inside knowledge.
Less nerds.
Yeah.
Now it's more business.
And I will say that my first visit to Belgium, a strange thing that stood out to me, and everyone in Belgium's gonna be like, "This is what you remembered? What the hell is wrong with this guy?"
Go ahead.
Was that Pizza Hut here is actually good.
Oh yeah. Well, it's okay.
It's not even the best
which is
one.
not true.
It's okay.
in the US.
Yeah, like here you're like, it's the last choice you'd make. But I agree. Yeah,
it's
probably
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's average. Yeah, yeah. But I think, of course,
So you came to Belgium and you ate Pizza Hut? When you,
Everything
I
else
was
is
like,
closed.
Yeah, everything here is
Yes.
always closed.
Yeah.
Everything else
Really?
was closed. Yeah, yeah.
we close very early, like
Yeah.
9:30. Usually you can't get anything at
It was a whole
restaurants.
square with restaurants and pubs.
Yeah.
Chairs outside, all lined up for, what seemed like miles. And that was the only thing that was open.
Stop.
Welcome to Belgium.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
shouldn't book a night in Brussels. I should just leave.
It's gotten better. I think Brussels has improved.
I mean, this is your advice.
Yeah, basically.
If you go to the tourist traps, there's gonna be some
Yeah.
stuff open.
Yeah,
but a lot
like-
of.
Yeah,
Brussels
if you
isn't-
go get trapped, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I would say stay in Ghent or Antwerp
Or Bruges.
or Bruges. Like
Bruges.
it's a better choice to stay if you're gonna stay than Brussels. Even though I'm one of the few who thinks there are nice places in Brussels. A lot of people don't think so, but they're wrong because they've never.
What do you have against Brussels?
Everything.
They only see like it's like a Flemish versus a Welsh thing. Is all the Flemish people enter Brussels from the north,
Yeah.
and the north is very dirty and it's kind of dilapidated. And all the Welsh people, the Walloon people, they come from the south, so they go in through the nice part, and that's why there's a lot of distinction between people who are wrong about Brussels being only the shitty place. But there's like a lot of nice places.
My
there
mom worked in the
town.
comic book museum there, so I've been there a lot.
That's a really nice
But you
museum.
At what, when you were 14? You said you didn't have any access to comics until you were 14.
American
Belgian comics.
So Belgian comics are a really big
Yeah,
thing,
the
right?
BD, as we
That
call it.
museum is still open.
Yeah, it's
Where
it's
is it?
worth it.
Brussels.
It's center
Oh.
of Brussels.
What's it called?
Just so the National Comic Book Museum.
I'm
It's
in.
really cool.
Yeah.
Brussels has a lot of nice
super
museums.
nice.
Yeah,
building.
yeah. Like the Natural History Museum is super cool. I've done things for them.
Yeah.
And then the planetarium is very old but fun.
Yeah, but as a tourist, Ghent or Bruges are more beautiful.
Yeah, they're much more.
I preferred Bruges over Ghent for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bruges is more architectural.
Yeah.
Pretty buildings. I get it.
No.
All good.
Amazing.
And if you go there at the right time,
Yeah.
Irish guy falls off a building, right?
What?
What? I'm
The
super.
movie in Bruges.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I was like,
Colin
I'm
Farrell,
sorry.
right?
Yeah.
That got very
There was
dark.
a Reddit thread recently, like, what's the best movie to represent Belgium? And yeah, in Bruges. Yeah, that is the best way to represent Belgium.
Not
in
the
a movie.
Smurfs.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I think
I
it
haven't
is
even
true.
seen it, the new
It's a
Smurfs
good
with Katy Perry.
Oh
right?
yeah, that one. No, yeah, that's horrible.
Wait, aren't there like 3 already?
There's 3 of them. Yeah, but they've
wanna
got
see
nothing
Katy
to do
Perry.
with Belgium. I think it only mentions that they're from something in Belgium, and that's it.
All right. Epic.
And then they're in New York.
My
So-
first exposure to Belgian culture as a teenager was Front 242.
Which
Oh
one?
yeah,
Front 242, the pioneering EBM band.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. We have a lot of music over here. That's one of the good parts. But it's usually with a small country because you get so many influences from all directions that
Thought you were gonna say like Call of Duty, where you gotta go through the Ardennes or something. You know, that's also there's always a mission in Belgium. So
Yeah, but usually the ones in Holland and France.
No, I'm also a World War II history buff, so I knew of the existence of Belgium.
Yeah.
the Ardennes are.
You mean the highway to France?
Yes, exactly.
We have super beautiful
Oh.
forests. If so,
My gosh.
if you want to go there. Yeah, no.
Just so we're clear, I love it here. I almost said we, but I love it here. I like coming back.
Belgium is great.
You've been to other cities than Kortrijk?
Yeah,
Bruges
because
and-
last year, after I left the bus, I went on a mini Belgian tour
Oh,
by myself.
Oh, nice.
crazy.
And we saw Bruges, Ghent, we stopped in Antwerp.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that exists, right? I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
I lived there.
You live there now, or you lived?
I lived there for 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of diamonds, probably. went to the diamond.
They hide that.
Yeah.
They hide
Next
that
to the
part.
When the
central
tourists
station,
come, they
have
hide
a
it.
huge diamond.
There's a huge diamond district, but you have to like take the
Yeah.
right street to get into it. But
There's like a few streets full of
I
diamonds.
didn't know what the right street was.
it's one of the biggest industries
I
for
took the
diamonds.
wrong
and-
street.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the.
No, you took the right street.
no. Took the right decisions.
Yeah.
And the zoo in Antwerp.
Did not go to the zoo
All
Don't
good.
go to the zoo.
All good.
because I'll probably see you there.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I was going to
Yeah,
take it
no,
too far.
No, you can take it.
No,
I can.
no.
I'm like,
I'm peeling back today.
We have one of
Okay.
the best zoos in the world, by the way, in Belgium.
the paradise.
one of the best in
Yeah.
the world. Where is
One.
it?
Paradise. It's quite far though.
From here, it's okay, right?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
okay? An hour?
Yeah, I think so.
It's quite good. It's one. It's.
interesting.
In the
It's
world or
more
Europe?
like. It's more like. Yeah.
I think
Europe.
it won a lot of awards.
Yeah. But because it's more like yeah, you don't want to call it a theme park, but
It's
it's they call it more like an experience thing because they have like a part that's shaped after Canada and then a part that's shaped after Thailand.
Asia.
But they like really imported all the materials from there as well.
Wow.
So they built
They really built like mini villages.
yeah. So
structural-
like the
Wasn't there
temple is made
a-
with stones from Thailand.
There's a game, Tycoon Zoo. Isn't
Yeah.
it just like this?
Zoo tycoon.
It's
Zoo Tycoon.
just like that. It's
Tycoon
just
Zoo
like that.
closed
Just like that, right?
Yeah.
I love the idea of materials from exotic Canada.
Yeah.
A tree.
When I asked my client, I asked my clients like, what can I do around here? So we're in Toronto, right? And they were like, well, our trees change color.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they literally said. I was like, our trees change color? Is that something special?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
It's the same as you would say, like, we have a small boy that pees.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, they do that everywhere in the world.
They actually visited Brussels, and I took them there, and they were like, "Wow, so cool!" I was like, "No, it
No,
isn't.
it's not.
It's a little statue that's peeing."
Yeah.
right?
And they
Super weird.
dress them up from
Yeah.
time to time. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. That's the best we can do with it. Cover him up.
All right. I really appreciate you coming down here again.
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Again.
I wish you the best of luck. I really want to look into it. If you want to do a Dutch version, we're in.
Yeah.
We're in.
We'll do a
We'll
bad
do a
dub.
live host of a Dutch version.
So I would be remiss if I don't let all of your listeners know that you can pre-register already at
He did the same
dcheroesunited.com.
for Silent Hill. I remember
So-
that.
Yeah.
Website?
Yeah. dcheroesunited.com.
DCU. Okay.
All one word. No hyphens or dashes.
Good.
and-
Good for marketing.
Yes. And yeah, pre-reg
SEO. Yeah.
pre-reg is available now. And people who pre-reg will obviously get the first announcements about the release date. And
Soon TM.
There we go.
and
Done.
there's awesome trailers that y'all can look at. And I'm excited. Like every time we do one, we obviously take learnings from all the stuff we've done in the past, and each time it gets better.
Yeah.
So
But DC is a very big check mark on the
absolutely.
Yeah.
resume.
Are there like other dream
Also,
projects?
it's just cool. It's not a resume item. It's
Yeah, but
freaking
it's like-
Batman.
It's like
I know,
a badge of honor.
But it's
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the pin you show off on a night out. Like, if you see my
Like,
Batman DC,
It's like if you have your website, your corporate website, partners you've worked with. That's the first
Yeah.
one you'd
That would
place.
be
Big one.
very superhero-esque of us. We're supposed to have fake identities,
exactly.
superpowers.
But you came on and you said you were Batman, so you
Yeah.
were pretty bad at hiding.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that is on brand. He literally shows up and he's like, "Who are
Does
you?"
he
I'm
even
a-
like it's his real identity?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne is the
Yeah,
fake
is the
identity.
fake guy. Right.
That's the mask he
That's
wears.
what I keep trying to explain to people, but
Yeah.
nobody ever listens to me, man.
all right, let's go to the after party.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
so hungry.
Oh,
All right.
there's gonna be fries, I guess.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm
there's
ready.
always fries.
I'm
It's
excited
Belgium.
about fries.
There's always fries within 30 meter radius, at least.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks
Thank you.
again. And are you here tomorrow?
All right.
Have a lot of fun.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna be here again for 8 hours in this warm
Yeah.
8 hours.
well ish.
Yeah, today we've been 7 hours already, I guess.
Do you get food and water in here, or are you just like trapped?
We have that.
Loads and loads of Red Bull.
You take one if you want one. Didn't you take one?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have a big stash there. So.
You could not pay me to drink a Red Bull.
Ooh.
Dangerous.
Thank you for coming.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And let's thank Red
you
Bull
can pay
again
me
for
to drink a Red Bull
sponsoring.
if you're
Yeah,
listening, Red Bull.
My bad.
They are listening. So
Shoot.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I said Smedbull.
Yeah.
Good save.
Isn't
All right.
Red Bull like Batman's drink of choice?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I
Appreciate
read
it.
about that
Yes,
too.
thank you.
And then
Universe
It's
211.
hopefully next year
Yeah.
with some good news.
Got a Red
That'd be
Bull
great.
pouch.
All right.
All right.
Next year with good news, we do it all over again.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Next year I will drink a Red Bull to make up for my faux pas this year.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're drinking,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're drinking Danish beer, so
I know.